Now at 5 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, the tragic death of an Edna cheerleader spurs a scholarship in her honor. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu seeks support for the war in Gaza to address Congress, sparking large protests and boycotts. Plus, a North Texas rideshare driver is accused of sexually assaulting a child while driving her back home.
More showers rolled around the area today. If you didn't get any at your house, that doesn't mean it's not raining. In fact, we've had quite a few thunderstorms around the region. This is going to continue for at least 3 more days, and then we finally get a break by the weekend. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a moment.
Plus, the city of El Paso is facing funding cuts for certain services due to an inmate funding dispute. We hear from city and county leaders about the issue this afternoon. You're watching 25 News Now at 5. Good afternoon and thanks for being with us. I'm Karina Garcia. Today is an alert day, so we're going to go ahead and start with weather. Let's take a look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Bettis joining us live in the studio with the latest.
Thank you very much, Karina. As you can see, folks, we've got another day of showers and thunder showers rolling around the area. It's a very unusual situation. We had that little front that came down. It is still sort of the boundary where everything's sort of building in and around. We, of course, had additional rain, but we haven't had the flooding rain, which is good. That's what I was hoping for. The thing is that this activity is going to continue for at least 3 more days, and we could have some heavy downpours that will cause immediate flash flooding. Funny thing, the rest of the state has no idea what we're talking about. Other side of Waco, it's just bone dry and very hot. All of this continues over the area, and you see that big blob of moisture off the coast. Well, that's the one that's going to make the main event within the next 3 days, and that's why we've got to watch it before this is finally over. We're going to talk about when it's over and what to expect beyond it coming up a little bit later on. For the time being, watch out that we have some flood watches around the region, and we'll have more details coming up in just a moment.
Mac, thank you. A FEMA Disaster Recovery Center will open this weekend in Wharton County. The center will be at the Wharton Civic Center, meeting rooms A and B at 1924 North Fulton Street. FEMA representatives are visiting with El Campo residents today. Residents can visit any FEMA Disaster Recovery Center in Texas to file a claim and get assistance after Hurricane Beryl. Now, 23-year-old Blake Downs now charged with murder in the shooting death of a 19-year-old Cohen Burham. The murder trial is set to begin next Monday, July 29th at 9 a.m. with jury selection taking place in Calhoun County. The incident took place at Downs' house located at 98 Holman Road in Port Lavaca. Authorities say both the victim and the suspect were intoxicated at the time. A tragic crash in Victoria back in 2022 led to a lawsuit settlement with the city. On May 5th of 2022, a city ambulance collided with a Chevy, sending the ambulance into a pond. Frank and Betty Roeder were rushed to the hospitals. Frank died later from his injuries. The investigation found that the ambulance driver at fault for speeding and a faulty maneuver. DPS recommended criminal charges against that driver, but a grand jury declined to press charges. The Roeder family settled their lawsuit with the city for a maximum of $500,000 as per state law. The city does not admit fault in this settlement. Now, the death of an Edna High School cheerleader continues to touch lives. 25 News Now reporter Adarius McCormick has more about a scholarship in her honor of this cheerleader. Adarius.
There's no debate. Lisbeth Medina's death shook the city of Edna. However, the loss is now inspiring the city. Edna High School's class of 1983 established the Lisbeth Medina Memorial Scholarship Fund. Since Medina cheered on the Edna Cowboys, the scholarship will go to students who want to follow in her footsteps. And the cost of cheering is not cheap. Prices can vary from hundreds to thousands of dollars a year, which is another reason why the class of '83 decided to start this fund. Our bank donated $500 to the fund, while 2 alumni donated $2,500. And anyone can donate to the fund. Just contact our bank. Karina, back to you.
Thank you, Adarius. Also, Rafael Romero, the man charged with her murder, has been indicted for the capital murder of Lisbeth Medina, and he awaits his trial. Victoria police arrested a 28-year-old man Tuesday. Julius Stassany of Inez is charged with aggravated assault on a family member with a weapon. He is charged with the Tuesday night shooting of 37-year-old Bradley inside of an apartment in the 8300 block of Northeast Zach Lentz Parkway. The victim was transported to the hospital and he is in stable condition. The suspect, seen on your screen, has bonded out of jail. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is addressing Congress this afternoon in his fourth speech before Congress, the most of any foreign leader. Right now, the capital is on lockdown with thousands of protesters on Washington, and some Democrats are planning to boycott his speech over his handling of the war in Gaza.
In a historic fourth speech before a joint meeting of Congress, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu trying to win support from both parties for his country and its war against Hamas.
When we stand together, something very simple happens. We win, they lose.
Netanyahu recognizing Noah Argamani, who was taken hostage and rescued from Gaza. The prime minister invited to Capitol Hill by House Speaker Mike Johnson and Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell. Dozens of Democratic lawmakers skipping the speech, expressing their disapproval over the thousands of civilian deaths and the humanitarian crisis from the war.
It will be the first time in American history that a war criminal has been given that honor.
Michigan Representative Rashida Tlaib did attend. She's the only Palestinian American in Congress and in the past has called for Netanyahu's arrest. Noticeably absent, Vice President Kamala Harris, president of the Senate, and Republican vice presidential nominee Senator J.D. Vance, each of their teams saying they were attending previously scheduled events. The prime minister also calling for stronger action against Iran, which supports militant groups fighting Israel.
Iran's axis of terror confronts America, Israel, and our Arab friends. This is not a clash of civilizations. It's a clash between barbarism and civilization.
Outside the Capitol, thousands of protesters making their presence known amid tight security.
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
The Prime Minister meeting with families of American Israeli hostages held by Hamas while he's in Washington this week. He's also set to meet privately with President Biden and Vice President Harris tomorrow and with former President Trump at Mar-a-Lago on Friday. Alexis Christoforous, ABC News, New York.
A North Texas rideshare driver is charged with sexually assaulting a 12-year-old girl. Police say it happened in Plano, Texas, while he was driving her home. Authorities say Robert Gregory Johnson picked up the girl in Frisco and went to a parking lot. Police arrested Johnson and he has since posted bond. El Paso could see cuts to services if the state of Texas refuses to pay for inmates arrested under Operation Lone Star. Some county leaders say the burden should not be placed on the residents there for a state and a national immigration problem.
Whatever funding we can get to help with the current expenses that we have, we're glad to have that because we do need that financial assistance.
As we've reported, the county says it's lost up to $20 million due to recent border smuggling arrests. As a result, County Commissioner Ileana Olguin says the county could face cuts to public programs, though they should be able to avoid layoffs.
So layoffs, no, because really that is something that is the last possible option in any kind of situation. The county will do everything possible to get to that point, and I don't think we would get to that point, but we can certainly, we may have to certainly start thinking about a reduction of other types of services and programs.
Officials say that by requesting funds, the county would have to comply by certain rules from the state, though officials say those are still unclear. Commissioner Olguin defended the county's decision to wait until now to request the funds.
You know, we didn't know the impact necessarily that these increased enforcement actions were going to have on the jail. We didn't know how long they would be going on for. We didn't know if it was something that was only going to be temporary or not.
One El Pasoan says the state should pay for its own inmates.
Why would I pay for something that doesn't belong to us? We pay taxes, we pay everything in here, and then besides that, we have to pay them? No way, I don't think so, it's fair.
The El Paso County judge signed a disaster declaration Tuesday. Officials say that's a necessary first step to apply for funding from the Operation Lone Star Fund. The Victoria ISD is inviting community members to participate in public meetings to help select a new superintendent. The first meeting is at Shields Elementary at 5:30 Monday, August 5th. That same day, there's another one at Allo Elementary at 7 p.m. Tuesday, August 6th. And then there's at 5:30 p.m. meeting at Hopkins Elementary and at 7 p.m. at Vickers Elementary. Finally, on Monday, August 19th, there is a 6 p.m. meeting at Mission Valley Elementary. Now, during its July 15th meeting, the Calhoun County ISD Board of Trustees approved raises for teachers and hourly employees. $1,000 was approved for teachers and $500 was approved for teachers who topped the salary scale in lieu of a step raise. So here is your Veer poll. The question is, do you think increased teacher pay will lead to better educators? Yes or no? We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 6. Now remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. For now, stay with us. The FBI director testified today on the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. Straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5, the details revealed in that plot. Also ahead, emergency crews responded to a shark attack in an unexpected location. Today, FBI Director Robert Ray told the House Judiciary Committee about an Iranian plot to assassinate former President Trump, but his testimony focused on a would-be domestic assassin. Ray revealed Thomas Crooks, who attempted to assassinate Trump at a rally this month, flew a drone in the area 2 hours before Trump went on stage. Crooks had 2 explosives in his vehicle and 1 at home, though he likely could not use them from the roof. Investigators say Crooks fired 8 times from an AR-style rifle before being killed by a Secret Service sniper. FBI officials believe Crooks acted alone, using a rifle legally owned by his father. Now, the members of a bipartisan task force to investigate the Trump assassination attempt will be announced Thursday. House Speaker Mike Johnson announced the formation of the task force Tuesday with House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. This task force will be made up of 7 Republicans and 6 Democrats and will have subpoena power. The goals will be to identify the security failures that led to the shooting, seek accountability, and prevent such an attempt from happening again. U.S. health officials remain on high alert after outbreaks of bird flu in poultry and dairy cows have led to several recent cases in farm workers. Alrighty, now here are some of the top headlines you can read in the Cuero Record. The DeWitt County Appraisal Board praises, or rather passes, the budget for 2025. And the Cuero ISD School Board sets a transfer agreement with Mayersville ISD. Parents are also urged, the school officials there, to check the dress code. You can read these stories and more at DeWittCountyToday.com. An aquarium shark in Iowa was euthanized after biting an employee earlier this week. On Monday afternoon, the West Des Moines Fire Department was called to the zoo for a code blue. Staff members there say an 18-inch bamboo shark showed signs of distress during a transport. A staffer who attempted to deal with the shark was bit on the hand after the animal regained strength and became startled. EMTs weren't able to dislodge the shark, and according to the aquarium, the shark was then put down humanely. Rather, the aquarium says this is the first time an incident like this has occurred at its location. In an ironic twist, this is Shark Week at the Blue Zoo Aquarium. Now, here are some of the top headlines you can read in the Port Lavaca wave. Texas veterans received over $27 million in benefits, which is helping boost the economy both across the state of Texas and right there in Calhoun County. Plus, the Calhoun Port Authority says they ended on a positive year, bringing in around 4.5 million short tons. You can read these stories and more at theportlavacawave.com. And now here's Chief Meteorologist Mac Bettis.
Thank you very much. We are looking outside and you can see the rain coming down. Yes, we are getting shower activity late this afternoon around the area. Our temperature cooled down to about 80 degrees, not bad at all. The rain gauge has not seen anything just yet, so it's still coming in at 0, even though your shoes are probably wet right now. We managed to get up to only 86 today compared to an average high temperature of 95. So yes, showers will be rolling around for the next few days. We'll be talking about how much longer coming up after this. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Yes, some of you have gotten wet. Some of you are saying, where is the rain? It's been around the area for sure the last couple of days. At this hour, we have the old stationary front right about here. That was one of the mechanisms. 2, we had an unstable atmosphere over the area, and then we had this tropical wave that was moving from the Gulf into our region. So all of those things were combining to get us that rain. It's all been along the immediate Texas coastline. You can see how Midland has no idea what we're talking about. The shower activity has been on and off. It has been heavy in some spots, but not, shall we say, heavy enough to cause the flooding problems. Now, here's the city, all right? You can see we have a thunder shower, a little bit heavier shower up to the northeast, moving up toward Edna, and then a couple of showers out toward Goliad, and some heavier stuff out in far western areas, which is interesting because the far western areas have really had much more rain than we've had. In fact, if you know Ingram, Texas, up there near Kerrville, north near Fredericksburg, they had about 6 inches of rain the last couple of days, so they're already looking at flood waters going down the Guadalupe, but those waters will be caught by Choke Canyon, Canyon Lake. That's the one I meant. And of course, all of these counties to the northwest have gotten some rain, and we along the immediate coastline. But As we take a look at Victoria, you can see how no one has gotten big flood situations. So that's what we wanted. We wanted the good rain with no big problems. You can see a couple of spots in the purples. Those are up in the 2 to 3 inch range, as you see right about there to the north and to the south. So it's been a good rain. It's not been a huge flood problem, and that was our biggest concern. Some of the farmers are still dealing with picking up a crop, but that's the way it is with the situation right now. So the stormy weather, which is better called unstable storms, will be popping around the area for a couple more days. That's Wednesday. And by Thursday, there'll be a little bit of a change. The big dome is coming back. As a matter of fact, it's going to be moving back over Texas by the time we get to the weekend. And then for next week, well, the rain chance goes away, the dome rebuilds, and the temperatures will start getting much warmer. Yeah, so big changes coming up. So scattered thunder showers again tomorrow in Port Lavaca, but only getting up to about an 82. Scattered showers again pretty much on and off all day long in Cuero with a high of only 82. So we'll take a look at the long term, and you can see we still have it down as alert days for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We could see some isolated storms, which because of the previous rain would cause quick flooding, and that's why we're worried about that situation. Otherwise, by the time we get to Saturday and Sunday especially, you'll start seeing a decrease in the shower activity, and then you'll see an increase in the good old sunshine, and we'll be getting back up to about, shall we say, the mid to upper 90s by the time we get to middle of next week. So we continue with the tropical rains for a few more days, and then we start transitioning out as we get to the weekend. That is your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone, and we'll toss it back to Karina.
Thank you, Mac. And coming up next on 25 News Now 5, we're going to take a look at your stocks. Plus, Delta might be showing signs that it's starting to emerge from its flight cancellation chaos. Taking a look at your stocks, the Dow down 504 points, the S&P 500 down 129 points, and the Nasdaq down 655 points. Oil up 49 cents, closing at $77.45 per barrel. Cancellations for Delta Airlines seems to be slowing down. More than 7,000 flights over 4 days were canceled. A Windows update by cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike caused problems with Delta's internal scheduling system. The software outage prevented the airline and its crew members from communicating about everyone's whereabouts. The situation appeared to be returning to normal today, with Delta canceling only 51 flights as of this morning. However, it could still take days to get all Delta passengers who had been booked on the canceled flights to where they wanted to go in the first place. Now we bring you back this story. U.S. health officials remain on high alert following the outbreaks of bird flu. Take a look.
It's rare for humans to contract bird flu. Since 2022, 11 cases had been reported, 7 due to exposure to poultry. The remaining 4 cases are since April following exposures to dairy cows.
It's just being more watchful as opposed to hitting the alarm.
Dr. Stephen Gordon with Cleveland Clinic says bird flu can spread around the world through flocks that are migrating. The CDC explains that infected birds have the virus in their saliva, mucus, and droppings. While it's not common for people to get infected, it can happen when enough virus gets into a person's eyes, nose, or mouth, or is inhaled through air droplets or even dust. Most human cases happen after close, prolonged, and unprotected contact with infected birds or contaminated surfaces.
All the cases that have been identified in humans since 2022, most of those have actually been not even respiratory illness, but more what we'd say eye infection. Have not resulted in any death or increased morbidity.
Gordon says it is safe to eat properly handled and cooked poultry in the U.S., but people should not eat or drink raw milk or products made with it. Instead, choose pasteurized milk. Protect yourself by avoiding direct contact with wild birds. If you find a dead bird, don't touch the animal. Report it to your local health department. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And stay with us. We're going to take one last look at your forecast. Plus, just months after filing for bankruptcy, Red Lobster may soon have a new owner. Plus, here's a look at world news tonight right after 25 News Now at 5.
Tonight, President Biden speaks to the nation with 6 months left of his presidency and decision not to seek a second term. What's next? With so much at stake, more Americans turn to World News Tonight with David Muir, the most watched newscast on television.
Let's Grow Texas Ag Part 2 Calhoun County debuts on KMOL tonight at 6:30 and on Saturday night at 6:30 as well. Let's Grow Texas Ag will be on KXTX Friday night at 10 and on Saturday morning at 11. Now, Red Lobster announced in a court filing this week it will accept an existing sale offer from Fortune's Credit Corporation. The seafood restaurant chain says it has not received any other acquisition bids. Fortune's is one of Red Lobster's largest lenders and has financed the restaurant's operations. The sale still needs to be approved by a judge, and a hearing has been set for next week. Red Lobster has closed around 100 restaurants in recent months, and the Red Lobster here in Victoria shut down back on May 14th. R.I.P. Red Lobster.
Yeah, well, and they got to tell the lobsters to come back too. You know, I mean, you can't do a restaurant without their participation.
Well, Mac, all this rain today and yesterday.
Yep, we've had showers and thunder showers. We've had isolated pockets of rain, but no flooding. That's the good part.
The plus.
So we can get we're getting 5 inches of rain without a major problem. I'd be very impressed. I just want to remind everybody we have our hurricane tracking guides are available around town. There's 5 locations. One of them is full of pep. So the feed store out there in Cuero. So if you swing by, pick one up. We are looking for additional showers. Some will drop heavy rain. You can see how they're very sort of individual. It's not one big line coming through like in the springtime. So stormy weather expected again Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We start seeing a change. By Sunday, we're probably out of the woods, and then we're going back to the hot and steamy weather as temperatures start going back up into the mid and upper 90s. And you're not going to believe this one. You ready? About 7 days from now, we're looking at a possible tropical storm developing. So,
oh my goodness! I mean, it is
one thing. If it's not one thing, it's another.
Yeah, and these have evacuation routes.
Oh, absolutely. You know, the season is still, shall we say, young.
Yeah.
And the routes out of town are very important in case there is an evacuation. Also, some little tricks. You know, what I have in your go kit. In other words, your insurance papers. Important papers that you need to have with you, all listed out here. So, you know, pick one up.
And it's free.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if it's free, it's for me. Learn it in college, never have let that go.
Yeah, that's true.
All righty. Well, thank you, Mac. And thank you for being with us. We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6. World News Tonight with David Muir is up next.